everybody. Welcome back to the J Lounge. Of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, here to bring you guys another wonderful episode of the J Lounge. Of course, you guys know we are a celebrity-based podcast show where we talk with actors, directors, singers, musicians, you name it. They all come down here and they all have a wonderful time. I am very excited to be introducing my next guest. They are a music group, and I am so excited for them to be here speaking about their music, their passion, who they are. I cannot wait for my audience, you guys, to get to know them. Please welcome and give a super warm welcome to Oshun. Hi, guys.
Hey, Simone. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you guys for coming on here. I'm so glad to be speaking with you guys. Um, I'm actually super excited to be speaking with you guys here today. I'm going to go ahead and fire the first question to the both of you. I want to know, guys, where does passion for music come from? Where did it come from?
Yes, our passion for music. For me, I can remember I grew up in a pretty Caucasian school, and so it was a struggle for me to kind of find role models and heroes. And I can remember in fifth grade for Black History Month, um, our librarian gave us research assignments, and I had to research John Coltrane and Charlie Parker. And that was the first experience that I had where I connected with an African American that I was like, oh, I'm really excited about that. And then I had an opportunity later on in the year to play an instrument, and kind of that connection to me really both helped me with my own identity as an African American, and also kind of fuel my passion for music. So I feel like that's where it started for me.
Hmm. Yeah, I was fairly young too. This is Portia speaking. I got introduced really to just playing music when I was a kid. You know, I started out playing flute and loved it.
Ooh,
Like I was that kid that, I got joy from learning how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb and Twinkle Twinkle Little
yes.
Star. Like I was in it.
Love
And
it.
like wow, I played a song, right? And then, as time went on, I realized that I wasn't even that deep into pop pop R&B music at the time. I mean, I was as a listener, right?
Right.
But I don't know that I saw myself doing it. But what I did see, because I was introduced to classical music at the time, I got really interested in the composition of classical music. So I would go to
Yeah.
bed listening and picking out instruments because I was starting to learn the instrument sounds, bassoon and oboe and flute, clarinets,
Yeah.
trombones. And I was really curious on how the composition was created, right?
Yeah.
Um, so there was that. I was very passionate about that. And then, just growing up and um, I guess just retelling the story to myself
Yeah.
when, because, there was a time I went through where I just thought I wasn't a good songwriter. I wasn't even sure if people liked my singing, I knew I liked it. But, over
Right.
the
Right.
years after I've, after I was a shy kid. I still kind of am. I got a little shy edge to me, but um, over the years, I learned to change my story that I tell myself,
Mm-hmm.
and finally saw myself as a singer and a writer, and that I really did have a huge passion for R&B music, popular music, etc. And so, after some time, like in college, I learned how to play the guitar and just kind of went from there. Like, yeah, my passion just began to grow and grow, and it just has turned into all these different forms. And the current one is me as um a recording artist and songwriter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That is amazing. And I can totally relate to you, Charles, growing up in an all, white school, where I'm located. So I definitely relate to you on that. Trying to find, something that, you can relate to is definitely hard. So I'm glad we're able to find something. Because trust me, I know that struggle. I do. And you're just like, you know, I'm just trying to find people that and are the same as me or look like me, so I can see myself in those positions. So I completely understand.
There's nothing wrong with like finding role models that
Nothing wrong at all.
literally just connect with on different levels,
Exactly.
they look like
Exactly.
you. But yeah, that connection is so important.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Going on to the next question, can you guys describe your sound? What is your sound like?
I would describe it as like pop R&B, and it's really difficult to like peg us. It's if anybody listens to our catalog, they might hear one song and they'll be like, "Oh, that sounds like an '80s song, a disco-y." And then they'll hear if they just heard snapshots of different things, right? They might hear another and be like, "Wow, that's like got a world beat to it, like you know, or like a Afro beat." And
Ooh,
then you'll be
I
like,
love those
"Oh,
Afro
that's a
beats.
R&B and pop." So
Yeah.
I think I would describe our sound as just pop R&B. It kind of like when you listen to. I mean, there's some people where the sound is very distinct, right? And you're like, I know who that is, or they're, they're the music itself. Of course, you're gonna know who it is when you hear their voice, but if you didn't hear their voice, you're like, oh, that sounds like something so and so would do. Well, you know how you just never know what you would get when you listen to. I mean, even Beyonce.
Yeah.
You can't say, oh, her sound is this, um, or even like a Doja Cat or a Bruno Mars. I mean, I'm just trying to think of people that where you can't be like, oh, this is our
But
sound.
this is true, though. Yeah, this is true. The Beyonce, Doja Cat, there's not, I wouldn't call them, an R&B or a hip. No, I would call them, honestly, what they are, which is music artists, because they dabble in so many different genres of music, kind of calling them, a pop
And
artist or kind of
yeah, exactly,
pigeonholes them. And they are so much more than that.
exactly. And so I see us the same way. So I just to like, I guess quantify it for someone that just absolutely needs to know what that is. I'll just say pop or pop R&B, but mostly just pop. Like, yeah. How
There's
would you
nothing wrong with that.
how would
There
you
is
describe
nothing
it,
wrong with that.
Charles?
Pop has been having a huge resurgence over the past couple of years.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
am, yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I would describe it. If we're talking about branding and things like that, that'd be something
Mhm.
completely different. But Charles, what how would you describe our sound?
I think the really the unifying elements. I say this all the time, but I feel like it's pretty accurate because I've heard people say it, especially when they come to live shows. I describe it as high frequency pop.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
it there's a unifying element of hope in our music, of joy in our music. It will make you feel better when you're
Ooh,
done listening to the song. And everybody kind of writes from their own experience. Some people write from a very dark place. I've been in dark places, and even some of the songs that we have, they're not just unicorns and sunbeams or whatever, but they all give a message of hope that even when you're in a dark place, even when you feel lost, even when you don't know how you will make it, there is a way that will be made, or a way that you will figure out. So yeah, I always describe us as high frequency pop.
ooh, I love it. I love the songs that will make you feel better after you listen to it. Because, yeah, yeah, no, I'm glad. And I'm glad those songs are making a comeback. Because sometimes when you're not having the best day, you just want to hear a good song to get you out of that. So, at least for me. So, I love that. So going on to the next question. For first time listeners of your guys' music, for first time listeners, what song would you suggest they listen to really understand you guys as music artists?
Hmm, that's a good question.
Yeah, I feel like that's an excellent question.
One.
Uh I would I would have to say, and Portia and I might have different answers. Um, but I would probably say, actually,
I know this is a
This is a tough one because yeah,
say what comes to your mind. Say what comes to your mind.
what comes to my mind is really love your way.
Ooh, okay.
Um, it's it's a feel good song. It will make you smile. It'll make you happy. Um, and I can remember writing it. We were in Mexico at the time on the
Ooh.
beach, and the producer had sent us the track, and it just had this kind of really beachy sort of vibe, really happy sort of vibe. And as I was writing lyrics to it, that's kind of everything that was captured. And I feel like that's a moment in time for me that was just a very, very happy time. We for once in our lives had taken off 2 weeks to not like just run around and be crazy, working all the time, and we were relaxing and enjoying ourselves. And so it has a special place in my heart, and I feel like anybody that listens to it kind of feels that joy and that happiness.
Mm-hmm.
It tells a really simple story. It was written for one of the Orisha, Yamosha, and it just tells her story of being pursued by someone who saw her and kind of instantly fell in love with her. And so I feel like we all want that. We all want to feel loved and be loved genuinely and seen for who we are. We really desire that, whether it's romantic, whether it's in a friendship, whether it's in a familiar relationship. We all just want to be seen and loved for who we truly are. So that would be
Mm-hmm.
my answer.
You should probably tell the audience who the Orishas are,
Uh,
because that sounded confusing
yeah,
if you don't know.
I'm trying to keep my answers super short. I don't know because I know podcasts want to keep to a certain time frame, but I guess you can always edit. Um, so we're named after Oshun, who is also in Orisha. The Orisha come from Nigeria, specifically the Yoruba tribe, um, and the best way to describe them, if you were to describe them in a kind of a Christian mindset, would be they're saints. They're not really gods, and they're not humans. They're kind of intermediaries between God and humans. And so we're named after Oshun, who is the goddess of fresh water and honey and sweet things and passion and femininity
Ooh.
and sexuality. And Yamosha, who is the song is written after, she is the mother goddess. She's the ocean goddess. And she is responsible for nurturing and protection. And so obviously we were sitting by the ocean during that time. So that particular song was dedicated to her.
Oh, wow. That's for one, that is amazing. I love that you explained your group's name because I was curious about it. I was curious about how that name came to be. So one, that's pretty powerful and amazing. And I love learning stuff like that. So that's really cool. So I'm gonna have to definitely Google that goddess later so I can know more about that because now I'm interested. Yeah, I am full on interest. It doesn't take long to interest me. It really doesn't. So I love to learn. I just love learning different things. So yeah, that's getting Googled later for sure. That is getting Googled later. But I love those song suggestions, and I hope that my audience listening in definitely streams those songs to really get to know you guys as music artists.
Portia,
Going
did you have a different one?
No, I was thinking of Really Love Your Way.
Oh, well,
So,
love it when that happens too. The sync, the unity. I love it. Ah, going on to the next question, you guys. I want to make sure my audience follows you and your music. Where are we on social media?
we are in a lot of places. So, we have the same name for same handle for all of the platforms, Saint Oshun, which is ST. So it's the abbreviation for Saint ST, and then Oshun is OSHUN. So if you type in Saint Oshun on your browser or on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, all streaming platforms, YouTube, you will find us there.
and
Excellent.
and I always like to make sure people put the ST at the front because there's a really dope female rap group from New York called Oshun. That will come up, and you should also check them out
Ah,
as well. They're also very dope. They're also very cool. But they're not us. They're two women,
gotcha.
and
No,
there's only one woman in this group.
thank you for the clarity. No, that's perfect. That is perfect. And of course, I highly encourage my audience. Make sure you follow Oshun. Make sure you guys stream their music. We want to see more of them. Make sure you guys do a like, follow, say hi, support the music, because we want to hear more of them, that is for sure. Going on to the next question, you guys. What future projects are you guys currently working on that you can just give a tiny little dish to the Joy Lounge audience?
Yeah, so our upcoming release is a song called "Whips and Champagne."
Ooh,
Uh,
I love that. First of all, that's possibly one of the greatest titles I've heard in a while. That is awesome. That is great. Continue. That is just awesome. Go on. Love it. I love it.
Thank you. So yeah, we'll release that this summer. And that song is the first song that I wrote 100% of. Usually Portia and I, or
Oh,
Portia and I, and a series of writers will write together. That particular song I wrote, and it came about because as I was singing the hook, it kind of sounded. There were a few options. There was grits and champagne, which also works. Uh, but whips and champagne was definitely a little bit more interesting. And
better.
then it triggered a memory for me of in college. I can remember my second date with this girl. First date went really well, was a very, very normal, cool date. We were vibing. On the second date, I can remember I pulled up to her dorm. She gets in the car, and as she closes the door, she says, I don't want to go out." And I was like, okay, well, what
Okay.
do you want to do?" She's like, "Well, I just want to go back up to my room." And I'm like, "Okay." And then she said, point blank, "Have you ever been handcuffed before?" This is the second date. I'm like, I was like so naive. I mean, that's a whole nother story why I was so naive, but I was so naive. In
I
my
love it.
mind, I didn't get it. So I was like, I've never been arrested. No, I've never been arrested. And she's like, "No, that's not what I'm talking about. Have you ever
No,
been
not at all.
handcuffed?" And I'm
Not
like,
at
"No,
all.
I'm serious. Like, I got pulled over for a couple of tickets, like speeding tickets, but it wasn't serious. Like, I didn't go to jail or anything." And she's like, "No, no, 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 by a girl." And I'm so naive. I was just like, "No, no, all of the cops were guys. Like, I don't know why, but they were all guys. And no, I would never been handcuffed." And she said, "No, dummy, to a bed." And I was like, oh no, 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 I can't say that I have, and I don't think I'm ready. And so,
Yeah.
so the first half of the song is about me being stupid and not understanding what was going on, and then the second one is looking back. If I would have had the same experience today, it would have been very different.
I would hope if you had the same experience today, you would have a different reaction. Oh my gosh. Like, who does that on the
On the
second
second,
date? What
the
happened to
freaks come
getting
out at night.
coffee?
The freaks come out at night.
Yeah, no, this is true. This is true. Of all the songs that have really hit true over the years, it is that one. That one will stand the test of time. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
I'm pretty
So yeah,
sure if you tell your
that's
friends
our.
that, they just laugh.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I was a different person back then. I was.
Oh,
And then yeah, we're sitting out a bunch of other songs. We're also working on some sync opportunities, which just means for TV and film. So we're writing a bunch of songs for TV and film, some of which will probably be released as Saint Oshun, some of which probably don't really fit our brand. We're just writing, what they need. So we're sitting out a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, we've been writing like crazy the past few weeks as well.
well, I'm looking forward to the single because how can I not? Now that I know the story behind it, I'm looking forward to that song. And good for you for trying writing out for the first time on your own. That's huge. That is huge. And I know that is not easy. So that is amazing feat. So good for you.
Thank you,
You. You're
thank you. And I feel like if I can encourage everyone, because I was just looking back. We did about 2 years ago. We did this social media post about who writes the songs and whatever. And when we first started, right, Portia, you were the one to come up with all of the melodies, right?
Yeah, I came up with most of them.
And kind of slowly, I started dabbling a little bit and came up with an idea here, and then I started writing my own verse melodies, and then I just kept pushing. And I feel like My encouragement for everyone else is it's kind of like what Portia was saying before about
Mhm.
telling a story. Is the story you tell is ultimately the results you're always going to get. So if the story you tell is I'm broke, I'm a loser, I'm never going to.
The story you tell yourself.
Yes, the story you tell yourself. I'm a loser. I can't do this. I'll never be any good. I'm no good at relationships. I'm no good at music. I'm no good at whatever. Fill in the blank. Then that story is going to play out each and every day. You're going to make sure that you fulfill that because you've told your brain already what the deal
Yep.
is.
Yep.
But if you can't get to the point of saying I can do this, if you can get to the point of saying it's possible that maybe I can do it, that at least gives you that door to try. And I just saw a post by Ed Sheeran that gave really great advice. He said, when I go into the studio, and this is true for whatever pursuit you have, he said, I go in knowing that I might fail. This might be the worst song, and that's okay. It might be my worst song. It might be my best song. All I know is I'm going in today, and I'm going to write something. And when you have that in mind, then you don't have this pressure of it has to be the best. It has to be the best or it's not worth anything. Showing up still matters.
Yeah. I absolutely love that, and I agree with that. I agree with that. And Ed Sheeran, I mean, believe it or not, he was actually the first concert I actually went to.
Love it.
So it doesn't surprise me that he has great advice like that. I've been a fan of his music since he first burst onto the scene. And like I said, he's right. Music, you can't be afraid, especially with music, you can't be afraid to fail because what one person doesn't like, another person will. So yeah, I completely, I completely agree with
I
that.
mean, yeah. I mean, that's music is so subjective
It is. Mm-hmm.
that I mean, now it might be that we all know people are gonna like a certain sound because that's the taste of today, right? But at the same time, there's been many instances in commercial music, popular music, where the lead vocalist didn't like the song, and
Right.
it was a hit, right? Or something you wrote you didn't even like, you didn't like it, and then you were worried if someone else didn't like it. Um, but it turns out that people did like it. Or how about the opposite? You know, where you didn't think it was that great.
Hmm.
Or wait, I said that already. Where you did think it was great, and a lot of other people were like, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not
I mean,
vibing
that
this.
happens
Yeah,
often too.
it does.
And it turns out whoever those other people were just didn't represent either your fans or the people that will really love it and elevate it. So I've seen that happen too. Like, you know, it,
Yeah.
you gotta do what Ed Sheeran said. Just go in there. I think that's a different principle though. Like he's just going in there saying it may not be great, it may not, it may be, but you can't really overthink it. You just got to show up because every single time you do it, you're practicing, right? You're doing the thing, right?
Yeah.
You're actually doing it
Yep.
as opposed to not doing it. If you're not doing it, then what are you doing? Like you're not going to
Hmm.
get any further ahead. Like
Exactly
so
though.
even if
Yeah.
you wrote, you know 100 songs and they were all failures, and the 101st one was a hit, then all those 100 songs needed to be written for you to get that. You know what I'm saying? That hit.
Yeah. You're absolutely right though.
You
I
needed to go
do.
through
Yeah.
that process. I mean, I heard from um what's her name? Esther Dean.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She's a this black woman that is uh really successful songwriter,
Yeah. She
born
had
and
that
raised
really
in
huge
Vegas.
song with Chris Brown. Right.
Yeah, but she's
Mhm.
huge, successful. But I heard her giving some advice, for songwriters. But it kind of reminds me of similar principles that she's like, what you should do is you have one really great idea every single day. And she basically was saying, if you're really good at songwriting, every you'll get a hit out of 25 songs. I was like, dang, that's to me, those are really super cool odds. But for most people, it's probably more like every 100 songs until they get really good.
Mhm.
But you're not gonna get there if you're not actually doing the thing. If you're not going in that studio, if you're not putting the pen in the paper and trying. You got to
Yeah.
keep trying. You got to fail your way there. You
No,
got to
you're
fail
right.
your way to success.
But you're absolutely right. That's the only way you can get to it. That's the only way
There's
you
no other path.
No. No, ma'am.
There is
No
no other
shortcut.
path. I mean, I think even Bruno Mars had a similar story when he was
Yeah.
a young guy and no one knew who he was. Just got signed to a label that didn't do anything with him. He probably was only 18 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and or maybe 19 or 20, something like that. But he knew that, if I can remember the story correctly, he understood that the label wasn't really going to be doing anything with him,
Right.
which is very, very, very normal practice. You know, labels will
Mm-hmm.
sign a lot of artists, and they might have that, like that one cash cow, and sometimes all of the energy goes to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Rihanna's on
Yeah.
a label, or I just made that up, but I don't think that was the case. But somebody like that. So, anyways, he understood that, and he also understood I need to take control of the situation, and decided, well, I'm just going to become the best writer there ever was.
Yeah.
And he began to write and write and write and submit. And I think he said he went through about 100 songs before the first one somebody was interested in. So, and now we see all he does is pump out hits. So,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah,
That's true. He is the
that's
hit
Sharon.
master.
Just go in that studio and drop it. Like, just show up. Just the expectation is I'm gonna have a song.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't always have to be feeling the pressure of it. This is gonna be another great one, because that's too much pressure.
Right. But you have a strong point. That is. That is.
Yeah,
So I love you guys' thoughts because it's true and it's just refreshing, honestly.
yeah.
Um, all right, you guys, I got a couple more questions. We just got a couple more minutes before our interview is done. Let me go on to the next one. What goals do you hope to accomplish in your guys' career?
Well, we've had a single goal since we've. You good?
Go on.
We good?
Yep.
Um, we've had a single goal since we started Saint Oshun, and that's to be the best pop artist in the world. And we're going to measure that in a few ways, but because I know we're short on time, I'll say when you see us at the Super Bowl, you know we'll have made our goal. Oh,
Yeah, that's
oh yeah, yep.
mhm.
I'm trying to keep it short because I know we're short on time. So
Yeah,
yes.
no, you're good. You're good. And I like that. I like that. What about you, Portia?
I mean, that is our. Okay, ask the question one more time.
Yeah, what goals do you hope to accomplish in your guys' career? What are you looking forward to accomplish?
What goals are we looking forward to accomplish? Oh,
Mhm.
okay. I'm looking forward to winning a Grammy, performing
Yes.
performing in front of my peers at the Grammys.
Ooh,
Because it's different than performing in front of fans. Like,
it
these are your
is.
peers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's one of my goals. And
That
when
would
I say
be,
Grammy, I mean as a writer and an artist.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but performing at the Grammys, you're right. That's different than performing in front of an audience. An audience, of course, I mean, fans. It's your fans. They know all of the. But when your peers sing all your songs
Man,
back
it's a
to
whole
you,
different level of
it's
pressure when
all
it's
thank
you got
you.
to
It's
win
a
them
whole
over
different
because they do the
level.
same thing.
Exactly. Exactly. That feeling must be just. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys get to experience that feeling. I hope that's experience you guys get to have because that is like one of a
Yeah.
kind, just hearing your peers, people that you guys looked up to, people that you guys, albums you guys heard a million times over. Now they're singing your guys' song back to
Yeah,
you. I
it's
mean,
it's something special when you get a good review
yeah.
and a good nod from your peers. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh,
something extra
absolutely.
special.
Oh, I hope you guys get to experience that. I really do.
Thank
I'm hoping that for you guys. I want
you. Thank you.
that. Going on to our last question, you guys. What are some of your passions that you guys have outside of music?
Hmm.
What do you like to do? Charity? Do
Uh,
you guys like to cook? What's some of your passions outside of music?
I do enjoy working out.
Yep.
I
Yep.
I do enjoy. Portia and I are both foodies. We
Yes.
love to go out to eat. Yes. And Portia wanted to make sure. I don't know if you heard, but I am a little bit of a nerd. I like to. I'm on a really big Star Wars kick right now, so I'm listening to audiobooks. There's a lot of Star Wars audiobooks, so I'm listening to them right now. I am a little bit of a nerd. I don't. I used to play a lot of video games. I haven't really been playing video games because I've been trying to write like crazy. So I've cut that out of my life as well. But yeah, I would say working out, foodie, and a little bit of a nerd.
Nothing wrong with being a nerd. Nothing wrong with being a nerd. I'm a Harry Potter nerd, so there's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing.
Right, right.
What
Yeah,
about you,
like
Portia?
Cal said, yeah, like he said, I'm definitely a foodie. There was one point in my life I remember I wanted to become a like just dine all over the world and then write
Yes.
reviews. Like,
Yes.
'cause I love food
Me
and I
too.
love the culinary arts of it, you know.
Yes.
Um, but we didn't go that route. So in the meantime, I have loved to cook, you know, as a home chef.
Yes.
I've actually worked in commercial kitchens too, but I love to cook. I haven't really been doing a lot of that lately, though. I think there's a part of me that I had to realize, um, you know, where I was putting my time. You'd have to decide, like, how am I going to spend my time? Well, you know, I'm not trying to be like an expert cook or like, you know, that's not the end game. It's just something that I enjoy. So I haven't done it a lot like I used to. But yeah, I
Yeah.
would say that's one of my bigger passions.
Hey, I am with you. I'm a huge foodie too. I love to cook. Cooking is that's my domain. That's yeah, I actually just made some bison chili the other night. So
Ooh,
yes, ma'am, I'd be throwing down for no reason. I know
that
my
sounds
neighbors can't
amazing,
stand me.
right?
Yeah,
That sounds really good.
it
It
is.
really does.
Ooh, if you never had it, it is fantastic. I highly recommend it. Bison's super good, especially in chili. But
I
yeah,
had
I
bison
am.
in a burger once, but
Ooh,
I've
that
never had it
sounds
like by itself. Like that would be kind of cool if I could have
that's
like
really good. I actually
bison
have not tried
without
that yet.
anything, just so I can taste it. Taste it really good. See
That
if there's any
sounds super good.
differences
I'm right
between
there with
that.
you on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But
yeah, I'm
that's my
right there
one
with
bigger passion.
you.
Yeah, I
So no.
literally love food. You can give me a recipe and I can probably tell you what the ingredients are in it.
Ooh, that's where I want to be. I want to be that good. I want to be able to taste and then identify each ingredient.
Yeah, you could
Not
probably
there yet.
blindfold me and then I'll figure it out. I'm like, this,
Oh,
I can
I am
taste a little
jealous.
coriander. I'll be like, there's fish paste in here, isn't there? You know, I can taste some shrimp paste.
You're making me jealous, Portia. That is my dream. I want to be that good. I want to be that good where I can identify, even blindfolded, I can identify which ingredient is in there. That's what I'm working towards.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
somebody
working
find
towards.
me a game show so I can win some money to do that. I
That
know there's
too.
got to
Shoot.
be one out there. 'Cause I think I'm really
Yeah.
good at that.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I enjoyed speaking with the both of you today. You guys are one great energy, a lot of fun. So I can see why you guys turn that into music. So, you guys are just a huge joy to talk with, and I'm loving your guys' perspective. It's refreshing, it's unique, it's different, and I really appreciate you guys coming down and talking about your music and passion with my audience today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us on. It was fun. It was fun.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
same thing. We appreciate you having us on your show and sharing us with your audience. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, of course. Thank
Cool.
you both. Thank you both. And of course, I want to highly encourage my audience. Make sure you guys follow Oshun on all the social media platforms, the music platforms. Make sure you guys do a follow, do a like, stream their music. We want to see more of them. We want to see them on that Grammy stage one day. So let's get the
Yes,
like,
sir.
follow,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
follow, support, stream, stream, stream. That's what we want. We want to see them on that stage. Yes. And of course, I want to highly thank everyone for listening into the J Lounge. Of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson. I will be back with another wonderful episode here soon. Till then, I want to thank my guests. I want to thank everyone for listening, and I'll be back.